Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday. Welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolf, Nick Wright, Brandon Marshall, Kevin Wilde's with us. And I got to start by saying our guy, Nick, I'm happy for him because he's a happy guy this morning as his Lakers pulled off the impossible, the improbable, pulling off the upset of all upsets this weekend, somehow outlasting the Portland Trail Blazers. I mean, we never quite got a prediction from Wildes, but we'll probably get one today. But Nick,
I was nervous.
Congratulations, buddy. Sweating profusely. We'll get to the Lakers game in a second. We got to start this morning, though, with a little Clippers and Mavericks, Game 6. L.A. with a chance to close out the series. Dallas without Kristaps Porzingis again. So it fell on Luka to carry the Mavs, and he certainly did his part. 38-9-9 for Luka. Not enough, though. Clippers winning behind Kawhi Leonard. 33 points, 14 boards for Kawhi. As the Clippers move on, they now await the winner of the Nuggets Jazz series. But let's focus on this one for a sec. Nick, what did Kawhi and the Clippers prove by closing out the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games?
Well, to me, Jenna, those are two very different questions. Kawhi once again confirmed he is year in, year out, one of the best and most consistent playoff performers in the league. He picked up exactly where he left off last postseason in this series. And if it wasn't for what Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell and Luka and LeBron have done in the first round, I think more people would be focused with, like, wait, what did Kawhi average? 33, 10, and 5 on better than 50% shooting for the series? He was great. So he confirmed what he has been showing over the last 4 years when he's healthy. He's one of the best playoff performers in basketball. The rest of the Clippers, on the other hand, Brandon, didn't show me much. Paul George, after his breakout Game 5, was bad again. The Clippers, even when Kristaps misses the second half of this series, and the only real threat you have is Luka, they can't slow him down, and Marcus Morris continues to, well, be Marcus Morris. So, like, very impressed by Kawhi. But the Clippers as a whole, Brandon, I thought, pardon me, were B-ish in the series.
It's too early to be talking about Marcus Morris right now. Give my guy a break. I know you covered him when he was in diapers, but leave him alone. To me, this series was all about all the other headlines outside of Kawhi. You are right there, Nick. That fourth quarter reminded all of us who Kawhi Leonard is. When I was watching that fourth quarter, I just had to go back and look at the stat sheet. I mean, this guy started the series with 29 points. And then he followed it up with 35. And then a 36. Then 32. And, he ended the series with 33 points. And while he was diving on the floor and playing lights-out defense, this guy definitely picked up what you said, Nick, where he was last year in the postseason, that championship run. Kawhi Leonard needs to be talked about more, but I get it. I understand. We were talking about PG. We were talking about Luka and how amazing he is. He's the face of the NBA. And even through Marcus in there, it's time for us to give this guy respect and continue to talk about how awesome he is. Kawhi Leonard, best guy on the court right now.
Nick, I'll throw it to you in a second. But I don't know if you like Kawhi Leonard. Like, sometimes when we come on this show and you say things like, I don't even know if Kawhi Leonard likes playing basketball. And other times you give him, like, these, like, kind of compliments. Like, if we weren't talking about Luka and Donovan and Jamal Murray and LeBron and Damian Lillard, we'd be talking about Kawhi. It's like kind of a, do you really like Kawhi or do you not like Kawhi?
Listen,
are you just talking about Kawhi because you got at the top of the show?
Listen, no, I have a tremendous respect for Kawhi Leonard as a basketball player when he plays. I got 2 issues with Kawhi. One is not his fault, one is his fault. The one that is not his fault is he was anointed best player in the NBA status by some after the Raptors beat a beat-up Warriors team. And that, to me, was not only an insult to LeBron, it was an insult to Kevin Durant, it was an insult to Giannis, some could argue it was an insult to James Harden, guys who had been performing at that level year in, year out. But the real, I guess, agitation that is caused to me by Kawhi over the course of the season is I think the way Kawhi Leonard treats the regular season is dangerous for the health of a league I love, Wilds. I think that if the Clippers, I don't think they will, but if they win the title, then it just further confirms, you know what? Who cares about the regular season? Who cares if guys play more than 65 games? It's not good for the health of the league. So I'm not a fan of that. But nobody denies his overall talent level unless you are trying to anoint him. You know, Colin Cowherd says if he wins the title, he's top 5 all time.
Season.
That is...
No one plays in a regular
Brandon,
season, whether it's load management. Yes, it's very true. Whether it's load management or if it's the first half of the season, nobody's playing defense until after the All-Star break. So I just don't get this thing. Like, you know, this is modern sports. You got to take care of guys.
So just real quick, Wilds, even if we're saying the level of intensity is ratcheted up in the postseason, particularly on the defensive end, even though we're not seeing it this year thus far, I agree with that. But other guys play. Like this is the load management with Kawhi is a very specific thing that just irks me. So that's what it is. It's not that I dislike him, and he's been brilliant.
No, I get
Wilds,
it.
I said it to start. Like he carried a Clippers team that otherwise this series was not that impressive. Wilds.
Yeah, but do you have an issue with like he did everything better in the playoffs? His minutes went up, his points went up, his assists went up, his field goal percentage went up, his attempts went up. So if you say, hey, he's been great, I have an issue with how he plays in the regular season, but if the reason he's been great is because he's been load managing, it's because he's been saving up, does that make your point null and void, or does that recontextualize your criticism of how he handles the regular season?
Preach,
no, because the idea, but Brandon, here's the thing. The greatest players in basketball, their numbers go up in the postseason.
What is it about? Is it about entertaining you, or is it about winning championships? If it was your Lakers, is it about entertaining you throughout the regular season, or is it about winning a championship?
To me, it's a false choice, and I hate that listen, I'm not trying to attack Kawhi right now. I said he was outstanding. He's been one of the 5 best players in the playoffs thus far. But to me, it's a false choice because we have all these other guys who play for the 90% of regular season games and still see their numbers go up in the postseason, still get to another level in the postseason. The idea that you have to do it this way, maybe he does because he has a condition with his quad. I don't know. I know they went into the year saying this was the healthiest he had felt his whole career. So it didn't fit with me when he was sitting out games by Halloween. But I want to say again, Jenna, he's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
He has been unbelievable.
No, I know, and you've been saying
the rest of his team
that
was not great.
You have. No, and I agree, and you have been saying that. All right, I want to jump back in and talk about the game. One of the headlines coming out of this one was that ongoing feud between Luka and Marcus Morris. Look, it was brewing the whole series. It boiled over on that play right there after Morris knocks Luka to the floor in the first quarter. Subsequently ejected on the play. Listen to Luka talk about it after the game.
I'm gonna say it's 2 games in a row we did something like that. And I really didn't. I hope so. The first game it wasn't on purpose, but looking back at the fall this game, you know what I think. So I don't want to deal with that kind of players. Just move on.
I love the Belichick cutoff hoodie there. Morris took to Instagram after the game, responding very simply with "Cry me a river, clips and 6." All right, Nick, what'd you make of the play?